Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Dr. Deuce and today we continue our journey of discovery and exploration between Logic Pro X and Cubase. Our area of focus today are the compressors offered by both DAWs. Now, by no means is this going to be a shootout between the two or even between the compressors within each DAW. My intention is simply to show you what's available between the two options and you can make your mind up from there. Now, if you haven't already seen them, do remember to check out the other videos I have on this subject comparing Cubase and Logic, and I'll definitely be adding more to this series in the very near future. Okay, now let's get into this. Okay, so let's take a look at the compressors available to us in Cubase. I'm going to pass these drum tracks through the compressor. No EQ or individual compression has been done on any of the parts, and we're not so much interested in how to use the compressors. The idea of the video is to show you more about what's available to you. Okay, however, it's worth showing you how to create a group bus, a drum bus. So what we're going to do, we're going to group all of these drums together. So I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to use the down arrow and select all of these drums right here. I'm going to come over here to the inspector. Just make sure that this top tab is open where the name of the top instrument is selected, and come down here to where it says stereo out. Click and hold there and you will see that there's no bus available. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the create track tab and I'm going to come down to add group channel track and make sure it's a stereo. And I'm going to call this drum bus and I'm going to hit add track. Click on the top track, shift and arrow down, select all of these, go back to stereo out. You'll see right here we've got the drum bus available. So we're going to be routing all of these drums to this drum bus. And now if I was to scroll to the bottom of the screen, you'd see the drum bus track right here, which I'm now going to drag further up. So just pull it all the way up to the top. I'll put it just underneath the actual drum section right here. Okay, that's cool. So if we were to look at the group bus right here, click on that and we go to the fader and we were to play that back again, we'd be able to see, right, we can see that the drums are coming in into this channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert different compressors that are available into this channel strip just to show you what's available to you in Cubase. So I'm going to just hit here, go to Dynamics, and the first one is Compressor, and this is our standard compressor module. What I'll do, I'll insert them all. We'll go to the next slot, again Dynamics. We just want the sort of standard compressor tools that you'd generally use on a track like this. Okay, that's the tube compressor. Then there's another one here which is the vintage. Okay, and then there's another one which is, let's go back in, the VST Dynamics. So we've got a Dynamics processor here. It's a compressor, gate and limiter all in one, but we'll be just focusing on the compressor, which is in the middle here. And all I'll do is I'll just mute all of these and just work through them one by one. Okay, so first up is your compressor plugin. That's fairly standard, okay? What you've also got is, if you go here, you can pull up presets, a ton of presets you can use. So if I was to go for, like, let's go for funky drums. So this will be the funky drums preset. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so next up is the tube compressor. And what we can do, let's start with the preset. Let's go for the AM drum bus. Choose that one, to double click on that. Okay, and run that through. So that's the tube compressor. And now for the vintage compressor, let's go for a preset. Let's go with the funky drums. Okay, and okay, so again, you mess with this according to what you desire. And finally, we have got our VST Dynamics. And let's start with the preset here as well. Let's see what we've got. Okay, let's go for funky drums as well. Cool. And what we're going to do is focus on this aspect of the device. Switch off the limiter and make sure that the compressor is engaged. So you engage the compressor down here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just run the drums through each individual compressor module, just so you get a taste of what each one is like using the presets that we have chosen. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the compressor right here. Okay, now let's go to next one in line, which is a tube compressor. Okay, and now just for the, which one's the vintage compressor. Okay, and finally we're going to go with the VST Dynamics. Okay, so that's just passing the drums through each compressor. I haven't adjusted any of the controls to meet this specific material going through, but you can still hear the tonal differences between them all. So this is just a very basic overview of the 4 compressors that you have at your disposal in Cubase. So now let's have a quick look at the compressors available in Logic. Okay, so I'm back in Logic Pro X and we're going to be using the same project as we did in Cubase. What we're going to do, we're going to drive some drums through the compressors that are available in Logic. So these are all my drums here, all color coded and lined up. Again, there's no EQ on anything, just a little bit of leveling, similar to what I had over on the Cubase platform. And what we're going to do now, we're going to group these together. So we're going to do it slightly differently to Cubase. We're going to go to the mixer by pressing X on the keyboard. We're going to click and hold on the kick drum track and just slide across to here. Then I'll scroll up a little bit and where it says stereo out, I'll click and hold there. And I'm going to choose bus 10 because that's the bus I generally like to use. And you can see all of these tracks or channels have been sent to bus 10. This right here is bus 10. Let's come up here. B10 that's the input, and we are now going to choose drum bus. Okay, so that's our drum bus. Now if I was to play that back, let's see what we've got. Right, so the drums are coming into the bus. That's fine. X on the keyboard to come out. Let's just pull that start point in just a touch, maybe about there. Okay, so now all we're going to do now is apply some compressors to the drum bus just to show you what's available. Okay, that's the kick drum channel strip, and here's the bus channel strip. So all I need to do is come over here and go to Dynamics Compressor, and there's only one compressor option from this category right here, but once we get inside you'll see the options that are available. So let's increase this to about 100%. Okay, nice and big. All right, so here we've got a whole range of compressors, and what we'll do, we'll just send the drums through and take a quick look. Okay, so here's your standard platinum compressor. I've got another video all about Logic compressors, and there's a link here to that video. So standard compressor controls, your threshold, ratio, and all of the rest that you need. You've got auto release here and auto gain as well. Over here we've got the limiter and distortion option here, as well as the mix and output controls. We have a whole range of presets that you can choose from. So this here is your digital compressor, and all the rest are emulations of classic vintage hardware compressors. Okay, so again, straightforward. You've got your standard controls here, and you've got like auto release and auto gain as well. Not really much to talk about. We can look also at the graph right here. Let's play back. And as you can see here, you can see the gain reduction meter and all of the peaks right here in the graph, as opposed to the sort of VU meter style. Okay, right. And now for this one, this is your studio FET. Again, very similar in terms of layout to the studio VCA. However, the tonal character of each of these is very, very different because they're modeled on different classic compressors. And now let's go to the classic VCA. Now the classic VCA, this one is modeled on the DBX 160, and as you can see, there's some controls missing down here. So where, as opposed to these two, where you've got the attack and release controls. This is not really a comparison video, it's just to kind of show you what's available in Logic. Now, one of the good things about the Logic compressor setup is you can, each time you move from one sort of model to the next, let's go back to the Platinum Digital, you'll see the settings remain exactly the same. By having the exact same settings, you can A/B different compressors. So as you can see right here, the threshold is on 29.5. If we were to go to this one, the threshold is still on 29.5, and we're on a hard distortion setting. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's quickly look at the other two, and of course let's try this one. Okay, on a soft distortion setting, back off some of the ratio, and we've got the knee right here, which we didn't have on some of the others. So on this one, there's no knee control. The Platinum Digital has got it. Let's go back. The Studio FET doesn't, nor so the Vintage VCA does have a knee control, and the Vintage FET has a knee control. Okay, and of course we've got the limiter over here. Okay, just to catch those peaks. Okay, and finally the Vintage Opto, which is a really good compressor. I really like using this one. Okay, yeah. So essentially I'm showing you what's available in both platforms as standard. These amazing compressor circuit types are available as standard in Logic. Okay, and again, you can engage, if you wanted to, you could have more than one compressor on the channel strip. So now in my channel strip, I've got compressor, I've got EQ, and then I've got compressor. In terms of my chain, again, this is just really random. Okay, so you're not limited to just one. You can have as many compressors as you like, really. But I thought I'd just demonstrate in one module. Okay, so again, the compressors available in both platforms are there. They both work quite well. However, once again, I'm favoring my Logic compressors. I find that the character that they deliver in terms of shaping my sound, my audio, is brilliant. The controls are really simple and easy to manage. You've got the ability to resize the plugin windows, whereas I couldn't find a way of doing that in Cubase. If someone knows how to do that, I'll be happy to hear. And the readings are real simple. You've got the option, let's make this a little bit bigger. You've got the option of the meter or the graph to follow what's going on. And essentially the tonal quality is what I really love about the Logic compressor. So that's it really. Like I said, check out the video I've got on Logic compressors in more detail, and I'll be back with more Cubase versus Logic components. If you find this video helpful, please remember to give me a thumbs up, a like, a comment, and subscribe, and check out the rest of the videos I've got in this series. I'm Dr. Deuce. Peace.